Hi, this is Dan. I'm always waiting for one of these enlightened interviewer people to call to interview me because, I always see all these people that are always getting interviewed, by like Richard Miller and Rick Archer at Buddha at the Gas Pump and Ian McNay on Conscious TV. And so I'm waiting for them to call me to interview me, but they never call. So I don't know if they like lost my number or something, or I don't know. Maybe they're like intimidated because they heard how enlightened I am or something. So I thought, that's not really very fair because I have a lot of people that um, want to hear my story, of my awakening. So I thought it's not really fair if these people don't call me to interview me. So I decided what I'll do is I'll just interview myself. So what I did was I created this interviewer, call him George. This is George. George is going to interview me. So that way I don't have to keep waiting for all these stuck up enlightened interviewer people to call me. So we'll see if this works. George can interview me. So hi, I'm George, and this is the Enlightened Person Network for Awakened Beings. I'm George. Tonight our special guest is Dan McElwee. Hi, Dan. Hi, George. Thanks for having me on your show. I watch it all the time on the internet, and I'm really thankful to be invited on your show. Dan, please tell us the story of your enlightenment. Well, George, there really is no self, and what we really are is a story. It's just a made-up story. So, if I talk about things that happened in the past, they're over already, and so those things aren't really that important. No, please tell us, Dan. All right, George, if you insist, I'll tell you my story. Well, just keep in mind it's just a story, right? So when I was growing up as a kid, I was always kind of like lonely and depressed and sad. And my parents were like Christians, and so they went to church and stuff. And I never really believed in God or all that Christian teachings. So I was always really confused. I didn't know what's going on. And so, anyways, I grew up and I didn't know what's going on, and Christian God and stuff. And then I went to college, and when I was in college, a friend of mine introduced me to the martial arts of Aikido. It's a Japanese martial art. I was on the track team at college, and my friend said, I remember he said, Dan, grab my arm like this. So I grabbed his arm, and then he did this move on me and put me in so much pain. I was like totally pissed off. And then I said, what the hell is that? And he said, it's Aikido. So I studied Aikido. Really? Yeah, so it was Aikido, and because of that, I got interested in practicing Aikido, and I started reading about the different martial arts and their history. And it talked about how they started, like in the monasteries, for the monks and stuff, like in India and then China and Japan. And then it started telling the story about the philosophy of the religions. And I started reading about that. And I remember they talked about Bodhidharma, and it gave a quote from Bodhidharma. I thought, wow, that's cool. I never heard anything like that before. So I remember I went to the library, and this was before they had computers or anything. You had to go and use those look up the card things, for books. And I looked up Bodhidharma, and there was like one book in the whole library about Bodhidharma, and it was something by Rajneesh, one of his talks. So I had no idea who that was, and I went and I found the book, and I started reading it. I said, wow, this is cool, this stuff here. So I thought that was cool. And then, anyways, this story's going to get pretty long. How much time do we have, George? That's okay, Dan. We have some time. Go ahead. All right. So I started reading about Rajneesh Osho and about his meditation techniques. and I started practicing different types of meditation, kind of on my own, nothing formal or with a group or anything like that. Pretty much I would just lay on my bed and do these meditations, and then I would end up like falling asleep because they were so relaxing. But that's probably not what you're supposed to do, is fall asleep. And I read about enlightenment. I thought, oh, if I become enlightened, then I'll I won't be lonely and depressed and sad anymore. And so that'll be really cool. And so I kept trying, but it didn't work. Yeah, so I just kept trying and reading and trying and reading and stuff like that. So then years go by, and I ended up moving back here to New York, and I started going to the Zen Center, and then I would meditate a couple hours a day at the Zen Center, staring at the wall and watching the breath and counting the breaths and stuff like that, and falling asleep again. I kept falling asleep, and so I would stare at the wall for a while, and then I kept thinking, I'm gotta get enlightened, and it wasn't working. So I used to hang out a lot at the Zen Center because I thought that was like all cool karma, good dharma at the Zen Center. So I used to go there before the meditation sessions, and I was in the library there, and I found a book by Wei Wu Wei, and Wei Wu Wei is Advaita non-duality, and it's the first time I ever read something like that, and it, as they say, it resonated with me, and it made a lot of sense. So I ended up quitting the Zen Center because of the book I found in their library. And, off and on, meditating, stuff like that, and getting frustrated and trying to become enlightened. And then finally I just kind of just gave it all up, just let it drop. Do you have any special teachings? No, George. I don't really have any special teachings because I don't think people need to be taught anything, because when you teach people stuff, it adds to knowledge, their knowledge, and already we have so much knowledge. All it's doing is confusing us, and so I don't think you really need to teach anybody anything. That our true nature is there already. It doesn't have to be found or sought, or nothing like that. So I don't really have any special teachings. Do you plan on holding any satsangs? No, I don't plan on having any satsangs. But, if people come and want me to sit and speak with them, then I guess I can't deny them, right? So if someone says, Dan, come down to New York City and come to our satsang and speak to us, then, if they pay for a room and stuff, and my plane ticket, then I would gladly give a satsang. But, it's kind of uncomfortable sitting in front of a group of people and teaching them and telling them stuff when, you're confused yourself, right? And you don't want to just add to their confusion too. What about books? Are you going to write a book? No, I don't have any plans on writing any books. I don't write too much. I kind of just make stupid videos and comments on Facebook. So I don't really have the discipline to sit down and write, a whole book or something. Maybe someone can gather all my sayings and quotes and stuff together, make a book. What's that woman's name for Nisargadatta Maharaj? What she did? She kind of just gathered all his stuff together. So if someone wants to do that, I won't stop them or anything. They can make a big book, like Dan's book. I can go get satsangs and autograph my book for everybody. Who are your favorite gurus? My favorite gurus? Well, I used to watch a lot of gurus while I was at work on YouTube, and every day I'd be looking at videos. I used to watch Muji all the time, and I used to watch Advishani and Gangaji, people like that. The big names, the the big ones, big famous guru people. So I used to watch a lot of things. And then someone I like a lot, like Paul Hederman, because Paul Hederman is very down to earth. He's not, you know, he doesn't wear robes like Muji's got this big robe on. Yeah, yes. And he's acting all guru-ish. But Paul Hederman, his hair's all messed up and he's wearing like t-shirts. Looks like he just came from the beach or something. So I like Paul Hederman. And then there's this new guy, Caesar Terrell. I think that's how you say his name. He's like from Argentina or something, and or Venezuela. I don't know. It's one of I'm an American. We don't know these foreign countries too well. And he's like in Russia, giving these satsangs, and he's pretty good. There's just a whole bunch of people that I watch, but I'm not really too big on gurus because then people get attached to the teachings and stuff of the gurus, and I don't think that's really like a good thing, So, do you recommend any practices for people? Well, I don't think people really need to practice anything. I used to meditate, but to be honest, I think meditation is good for relaxing, but help you fall asleep. It used to make me fall asleep, But otherwise, like discovering your true nature or something like that. That's my cat Pepper. So I don't think you really need to like practice life because you're living life already, so you don't really need to practice. You need to practice something that that's different that you want to learn, like practice, like speaking a foreign language or playing tennis. You need to practice, but the idea you need to practice life is kind of strange because it's kind of like happening anyway. So if you practice or not, what's going on. So yeah, I don't really have any like practices. All right, Dan. Well, thank you very much for coming on the Enlightened Person Network for Awakened Beings. You're welcome. Oh, okay. Is that it already? Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me, George. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.